Sorry, obsessed with that song. Anyway, so there's something that I have been thinking about a lot, and I figured why not share it with everyone, because I want to hear other people's ideas too. What I've been thinking about is the world we live in today. Like, not just the pandemic and, the craziness of where are we sending our kids to school? Where are we sending them to school? How are we sending them to school? Are we doing it virtually? Are we doing it this? Are we doing that? There's so many choices. And in a time when we should all be banding together to support one another, physically, for those who are struggling now. I mean, it's just a time when everybody should be coming together. And clearly that's not what's happening. But the world we live in today, I'm not a fan. I'm not. And I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny, but it's just like, I feel like I'm at such a loss for what to do most days. And something happened today that completely shook me. And I was just like baffled. And I don't really know if it's because my social psychology class was just talking about how, the impact other people can have on your self-esteem or whatever, or if it's because I was all upset the other day because I was watching this live video of some sort of, I don't know if it was a protest. I mean, I looked at it live for maybe 2 seconds. And as I'm watching this video, I lost track of what the video was even about because I'm reading these comments that are popping up and they're so hateful. Like, they're just so mean. And it's not just, differences of opinions, because that's fine. It's fine to have differences of opinions, but it's just hate. It's just hateful. Like, if you don't agree with someone, it's like, normal people, to me, can talk that out, can work that out, but there are so many people in this world that just spew negativity all the time. And it's frustrating. The other day I saw on Facebook, it literally made me sick to my stomach. I saw on Facebook this post, and it was of a message, like a text message back and forth. And it was basically just this guy being really mean to a girl, being like, you're not even worth my time. You're useless. And that was upsetting. But at the same time, then you read those comments, and there are these girls, like tons of girls, who are just sitting there laughing about it. They're laughing that this dude was so awful to this girl who was just asking if he was okay. And it was so fucked up. I mean, it really was. I couldn't imagine raising my child to act like that. I can't imagine. And I'm sure that, I'm not saying it's the parents' fault on why those girls were commenting, but it was awful. Cyberbullying is one thing, but then to post a picture of you basically shitting on someone and telling them they're worthless and not worth your time, and then all these other girls backing him up and laughing. That is not what we should be doing right now. That's not what we should ever be doing. We should be building each other up. Being a person in today's world is really freaking hard. And I can't understand why that this is happening. And what happened today opened my eyes to something I was doing wrong. And that is, you always hear, don't judge a book by its cover. Most of the time that applies to people, when they say that, they're talking about, like, maybe a homeless person, or maybe someone with a bunch of tattoos, or someone with lots of piercings, or whatever. Someone who isn't the, like, white collar, suit and tie, whatever you're looking to be. And I've always taught my children that everybody should be equal. But I didn't realize that I was judging books by their covers in the opposite direction. There's a woman that I know, and I have always felt this big around her, and it's my own fault, because I looked at her and I mean, she lives in a really nice neighborhood and she, has her life together. She has a really good job. I don't want to give too much detail because I don't want her to know I'm talking about her. She just seems like she has it all together. And she's a little bit older than me, but her kids are the same age as Aubrey. And it was just, I always saw her here and I'm here. And there was no reason for that. There was no reason that I should feel any less than her because we're both people. We're both people. And that's what is so important, is that I was judging her by her cover and thinking, oh, well, she wouldn't want to talk to someone like me. She wouldn't want to have her kids, play with my kids because I don't have as much money. Maybe my job isn't as good. Maybe I'm not, there yet with my life, where I completely know where I'm going and what I want to do. And the smallest thing can impact someone's day. This woman looked at me, someone that I saw, again, here, and I was here. And she looked at me and she said, "You're doing a really good job. You're a really good mom, and this is really hard for everyone, but you're doing really well." People tell me that, like my friends tell me that, and obviously I appreciate when my friends tell me that, but it opened my eyes that she's just like me. This pandemic is just as hard for her. Never did I think that I would be in a situation where I'm trapped in my home all the time and my kids have to wear masks to school. 2020 was supposed to be like flying cars, xenon, living in the spaceship with the dude with the spiky hair, zoom, 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 whatever. That was my vision of 2020. And of course that's been destroyed. But it is so important to remember, do not judge a book by its cover. Because had I not put myself out there and, whenever I think it was a few weeks ago, talked to her about Monet, ironically enough, and I didn't expect anything of it. And then she decided to, buy a kit, and it really helped her family, and it was great. But that was what connected us initially, to give me the confidence to be like, okay, I can talk to this person. Like, she may be better than me, but I can talk to this person. But then I realized that why does anybody have to be better than anybody? Like, being a mom is fucking hard. Being a parent, I'm sorry, I cannot leave out the dads. Being a parent is fucking hard. There is so much that goes into it. Like, every decision you make is going to affect your kids. Everything you say, everything you do. And deciding whether to send them to school, deciding whether or not to send them to school, nothing ever feels like the right choice. Like, mom guilt is always there, or dad guilt, or whatever guilt. It's always there. With every single parent, it's always there. Am I spending enough time with them? Did I really need to yell at them about that? Should I have scolded them for that? Should I not have scolded them for that? Should there have been a timeout? Should there have not been a timeout? Am I giving them the right foods? When they misbehave or hurt other kids' feelings, how should I react? There's never a right answer, I feel like, for anyone. And it just baffled me today. And I felt it was really important to bring it to light, to show that it's not just about not judging a book by its cover because they look different from you, maybe in society's view, negative light. It's the people that you think are better than you that can give you something that you wouldn't have had otherwise. To have someone who barely knows me, has only seen me, at certain events and things like that, like, look at me and say, this is really hard. You're not alone. You're doing a great job, was massive. And it was something that I think that if we judged people less on their, gender, race, language, religion, sexual orientation, income, house size, gender identity, whatever. If we stopped judging everyone and putting everybody in ranks and places and making these people better than these people and these people less than these people, if we just stopped doing that and realized that we're all fucking people, we're all fucking people. Like, if our children get hurt, do we not all get upset about it? Whether you're, a super girly man who has children or it doesn't matter. You could be a boxer or a wrestler or a fashion designer or a doctor. We are all people. We all feel the same ways about things. We all get our feelings hurt. We all care about other people. And when I see things where other people are being put down, or when I see things where other people feel less than, it makes me sad, because everybody is someone's mom, sister, cousin, friend, brother. It doesn't matter. And our world sucks. Like, it's just a shitty world. And so I know that, this post and me learning that it's not just about judging a book by its cover, by who's better than or less than, but also just about seeing everybody as people. Me learning that or realizing that isn't going to change the world we live in. It's not. I mean, I'm one person. But I feel like if I'm one person and you're one person and your children are little people and we teach our children differently than maybe we were taught, or differently than other children are being taught, if we teach them better, if we teach them that, yes, this is how the world is, but it doesn't have to be that way. And the way that it starts is with one person. One person. I mean, I'm not Gandhi or like Rosa Parks. Like, I'm not going to make some massive difference in the world, but maybe I can make a difference in the people who are watching this right now, or the people who are going to watch it later. Maybe I'll spark a thought in your head like, hey, I may not agree with, I don't know, homosexuality, but that doesn't mean that they're any less of a person. Doesn't mean when their mother gets hurt or sick, they don't worry. When they stub their toe, it fucking hurts. Most of us want to kick the dresser, but we don't. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you look like, what you think. If we all would just stop judging each other and putting everybody in a certain rank based on different demographics, maybe we'd have a happier fucking world. I dream of a day when my kids can... Oh my God, I sound like Martin Luther King. Jesus Christ. No, let me rephrase this so I don't sound like that. I am nowhere near as amazing as Martin Luther King Jr. Let me make that clear. I would love for my kids to never feel judged, to always be themselves, and they're weird. My kids are weird. They're hilarious, but they're weird. I don't want them to ever hide that. I don't want them to have to hide that. And in today's society, they do. They have to hide who they are. They have to conform to certain social norms, and because, it's not necessarily normal to dance around in a parking lot. Some parents would say, no, stop doing that. People are going to look at you. Well, so what? So what if people look at you? Maybe they'll look and say, hey, that kid is happy. That kid's having fun. That kid's being safe. That kid feels loved. I just want to make some sort of change. And if I can make a change in the very few people who are watching this head and get you to start thinking, they're not better than me. They're not less than me. We are equal. Which sounds so cliche. But if we can do that and we can come together as moms or as people or as whatever and recognize someone else in need, then everybody's taken care of. Everybody's taken care of. If I see someone that needs something, if it's not going to put, well, usually, even if it does put me in a hole, random acts of kindness, guys. Like, it really sounds stupid, but one, it makes you feel better about yourself. Like, 2 weeks ago, there was a girl who couldn't get to the store for her kid's birthday party. And it wasn't going to be a big party, you know, it's COVID, whatever. He's turning 2. He's not going to remember his second birthday, but she will. That mom will remember, I couldn't get to the store. I couldn't give my kid the birthday I wish I could. So what did I do? I paid for an Uber to bring her from her house to the store, and from the store back to her house. Yeah, okay, like $40 later, whatever. Probably a bit much to spend on a random person you don't know, but at the same time, would you not want someone to do that for you? That is how we all should live our lives. How would I want someone to treat me if I was in need? And then do that for other people. Find someone who needs something and help them. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be hair products. It doesn't have to be anything other than hey, you're not alone. And you're doing a really good job. I mean, it was 2 seconds out of this woman's life, and it totally changed my day, my week, my mindset. It was like, it's okay to be frustrated with the fact that my kids are driving me crazy. It's okay to not feel okay. It's okay to be pissed off about this pandemic. It's okay to feel out of control. It's okay all of these things are okay that did not feel okay to me, because I was like, oh, well, I just can't handle this because I have anxiety, or because I'm not, I don't have my whole life together. No, it is every parent in the entire United States that is feeling the same way, whether they make $1 bazillion a week or they make nothing a week and they live on the streets in a tent. Everybody is in the same boat. And so rather than us all hoarding toilet paper, we should be giving what we don't need. Even if you have nothing, you still have your words, and your words can impact people in a positive or negative way way more than you could ever imagine. And I think that's my biggest message. Other than don't judge a book by its cover, is use your words wisely. And use them to build other people up instead of tearing them down. Because when we're tearing other people down, we're showing the next generation, our children, that's how they should act. They should shit on their friends. They should make fun of kids who don't have the same clothes as they have or whatever. That's what we're teaching them. So yeah, it's a Facebook post that maybe your kids will never see, or maybe you don't have kids, but your posts affect my children. What you say, your children hear. Your children go to school, and they repeat it. Trust me, Aubrey repeats a bit too much. Aubrey, when her feelings are hurt, she gets a little vicious. Like, she lashes out. And she's learning not to do that. But I've always told her, instead of looking at why is that person being mean to me, what's wrong with me, look at it as, maybe that person's having a bad day. Maybe their parent got mad at them before school and it confuzzled their day, and they can't pull it together today. And so instead of just sitting there crying, they're going to tell you, Aubrey, that you are chunky or whatever they make fun of her for, which, by the way, she's not chunky. But those words affect her. And those words are learned words. Being hurtful is a learned behavior. It is not something we are born to do. We are not born good or evil. We are just born. And how we are raised and what we are taught is okay and not okay is what is going to mold our next generation. So if there's one thing that I could beg anybody who is friends with me on Facebook, follows me on Instagram, whatever, is to find one thing a week. Just one thing. One thing a week to do for someone else to make them feel better, to make their lives better. It could be a stranger. I don't care. But if everybody on my Facebook did one thing a week, and then everybody on their Facebook did one thing a week, How far do you think it could go? How much change could we genuinely make? Just something to think about.